Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. In the last episode, we finished things up at the Angler's Tunnel and we learned ourselves... song. Okay, I'm so sorry for starting off a video on that note. You always know when it's me singing it's gonna be a terrible, terrible time. Okay. Anyway, we also found ourselves this ghost that just magically began following us after we played such a song. He told us that he wants to be taken to his house on the shore, so I guess there's really nothing else to do but do just that for him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and meet you guys back at Mabe Village at that rundown house that we saw just a few videos ago. Alright, and we're here, so let's go on in. Here, enter my house. Nostalgia, unchanged. Boo-hoo. Enough, cemetery. Take me, my grave. The music in there, I always felt, was very, very... I don't know if I could say, in a way, creepy, yes, but in another way, I just felt like it fit very well. Just the way that it sounds almost childlike, together with his use of the word nostalgia, and how he thinks that everything will be okay if he can just go back to the house that he was alive in, and then realizes that it's not really the same anymore. I always felt like it was kind of a metaphor for people that yearn for their childhood, if even that. And you could even say that Link's Awakening might even be a metaphor for that. I mean, heck, the windfish is in an egg and we're trying to hatch it. It really kind of is a metaphor for growing up, and this kind of feels like a metaphor for having grown up and yearning for those days to be back again. It was just always something that I personally thought, and I always found really fascinating to think about. Maybe I'm the only person that really feels this way, but it was just always... Despite how simple this is, that we're just taking a ghost to his house, and then he says he doesn't want to be there anymore, and he just wants to be taken to his grave, I can't... It seems very simple, yes, but at the same time, it always just really struck me as a really emotional moment. It's kind of like, Captain Kida in Majora's Mask, how it seems kind of silly at first. You know, you have, like, the silly-looking stall child that's just massive, and he has soldiers that work for him, but when you really think about the whole message of his soldiers not ever being put to rest and just always still being loyal, even in death, to their master, it just always struck me like that. But here we are at his grave. Thank you. A jar. In my home. Look inside. Bye-bye. Hoot! It has been some time since our paths crossed, lad. You must dive into the waters of Martha's Bay to enter the catfish's maw. The closer you get to the windfish, the more restless he sleeps. Carry onward! Hoot! We walk up to the tombstone, we hear the song that I was just gushing about. Ah, how I love pictures. Hey Link, what are you doing here? You want to know about that ghost? I'll bet he's happy thanks to you. Are you ready for a picture? I'll call this, I Was Very Afraid. Smile. Aw, that's so cute. I love that. Just, that right there. I thought the photos were pretty pointless for the most part, but that is one photo that I always like seeing. Just the fact that Link is just wondering about the ghost. He stands near the tombstone, and he just the fact that the ghost isn't there, yet Link was happy to help him, and then just the ghost appears on film, and you see that he's actually finally happy now that he's passed on. It's just... I can't describe it. It's just, it's so emotional, and it's just... For something so simple with a game that was so graphically limited, it's just so brilliant the way they pull it off. But that's really all that we wanted to do here in the way... But that's really all that I wanted to do in the way of story for a little while. I got one of my favorite moments in Link's Awakening shown. So, how about now we head back to that ghost's house, and how about we try seeing what was under that jar in his house? Kirby, go away. So back in his house, we have a lot of jars right here, and I just wanted to say, wow, they light up when you pick them up. Apparently there's like light coming through like the upper layer. You cannot get this on your first visit. Not until he tells you to look under a jar in his house will you find a secret seashell right here. So, for those of you that are wondering why I didn't get this the first time that I went here, that is why. It does not appear until then. Should you want to, you can check his chest. It's a pretty nice chest. Should you want to do that? you know, yeah, there's a few things in this house. Not really much of anything. The floor's cracked. We have some magic powder. Why don't we light this place up, you know? Let's light a fire in his memory. And I fall down the floor. Okay, there I go, trying to be emotional and failing at it. So, there we go. So now that we got ourselves a secret seashell, that puts us at 14 of the things. So what I'd like to do now is, I would kind of like to go around the world, and I would like to get a bunch of secret seashells, because now, no lie, we can actually get 20 of them, allowing us to get the final reward for them. So let's go and do that. Right near that house that we were just at, we can swim down here. We want to avoid this Zora. Yeah, Zora sure got prettier in the N64 days, like I said. And we can hit this bush, and we get ourselves a secret seashell right off the bat. First off, on this screen right here, this is actually a really easy one that I could have just grabbed earlier. I forgot it was here briefly. There's a secret seashell under here, which is on this square of the map, if you may look. So it was actually right where I was going through here with Marin. I could have just grabbed this one a lot easier, but I guess I just kind of slipped my mind that it was right there. I thought it was on another square that looked very similar to this one, which is odd because there's not many squares that look like this. Ah, well. Point is, I got it now. This next one is just outside of Mabe Village. You want to go down here, and you want to, if I may equip the correct item, before doing so, use your Pegasus boots and knock it out of that tree, right near this phone booth. And earlier, I actually missed a secret seashell right over here by the ghost's grave. I was too busy freaking out over how much I just love that plot point that I completely forgot there's a secret seashell right here. Next up, over by Richard's villa, we can go in this water, we can get to this island that we could never get to before. Now, this patch of grass right here is going to contain a secret seashell, but if you hit it from any direction aside from up, that happens. So make sure that you hit it downward from the upward direction, or else it bounces in the water. You found a secret seashell. If you collect a lot of these, something good is bound to happen. Wow. The very last one that I'd like to grab is right near Animal Village. However, while we're here, I'd like to stop off in town really quick, because you remember that we have that hibiscus, and it's a hibiscus, right? Well, we want to go into the house with that goat. Oh, you brought me a hibiscus. How sweet. Well, since you are such a gentleman, I have a request to make of you. Will you listen? Wow, she's gonna make us do something for bringing her a gift. I would like you to take this letter to a Mr. Wright, who lives on the border of Mysterious Forest, please. So, we're effectively her mailman. Oh my god. We're the mailman! You bet that's great! We are the true superhero of the American people at long last! Okay, no, we did that in Majora's Mask as well, so it's not anything new. But still, you know. I'm just kind of going to... Here. Friggin' Buzzblob. What we want to do is, we want to head over this way, and if we head up here, we have an owl statue. Secrets are like water when it comes to bridges, it says. So it's hinting at us that we got secrets nearby, and it is hinting at a different secret than the one that I'm going after, but still, there is a secret seashell just beside it. And with that very last one, we have exactly 20. From here on out, we do not need to collect secret seashells. I probably will detail where the remaining ones are at some point, but it's not really on the forefront of my list anymore. So, with 20 secret seashells, I say we head on over to the Seashell Mansion. I will admit something on our way back. I used to think it was kind of pointless how they give you 26 secret seashells in the game, but you only actually need 20 of them. But now that I'm kind of older, I kind of have realized something. And that's that I kind of wish that more games did that, where they give you more collectibles than you explicitly need to get 100%. The reason for that is that it's forgiving. It allows you to still get something even though you didn't find every single last waking one of the collectibles. But at the same time, it still rewards you for having been really diligent and found every single one of them along the way, because that just means that you get the power-up sooner than other people. And where the heck is this frigging manor? It's... wow, I completely went the opposite direction of the mansion while I was talking about that. And it just... yeah, I do kind of like that. Just the fact that it's kind of forgiving. The fact that you don't need to get every one of them, but if you're diligent and do it anyway, you get the power-up sooner than most other people. So you can kind of just reap the rewards a bit sooner and maybe play a dungeon without having all the stuff. Now, before we go inside, these trees look a bit like Octoroks. You know, something that's in Link to the Past as well. But I'd like to talk to these. Well, that was a surprise. Hey, I'll tell you a secret. Use your sword to poke at dungeon walls. If you hear a hollow clank, you can break the wall with a bomb. So he told us something that an owl statue also told us. This one, well, that was a surprise. Hey, I'll tell you a secret. Use your sword to poke. He tells us the exact same words. Some people were telling me that I should have mentioned this before, and I really should have. It just slipped my mind as I was walking past this area. So how about we go inside? Progress bar to 100%! Woo! My job here is finished. We get ourselves "You've got a new sword! You should put your name on it right away!" I like that joke hitting to the beginning of the game. This is known simply as the L2 sword, or level 2 sword. Personally, I always called this the white sword as a bit of a reference to Zelda 1. I just always thought that it just always kind of reminded me of the white sword, how it's just a hidden sword that you can get after a while. I mean, you can't get the white sword as soon as you can go to that cave in Zelda 1. It just always reminded me of the white sword, so if you'll forgive me for not quite using the official name, I will be probably referring to it as the white sword instead of the L2 sword. The white sword has sword beams, just like the sword in Zelda 1. Whenever you have full health, you are able to shoot sword beams off as projectiles. This also does double damage in battle. For that reason, the red tunic is now a bit redundant. Granted, yes, I'm doing ×4 damage, which is really, really impressive, but if you ask me, I think it'd be for the best if we headed back to the color dungeon and I switched to the blue tunic now. I said that I would show the red tunic for a little while because I didn't have a power-up for my attack power, but now that I do have a power for my attack stat, I think it's just kind of better that I go with the balanced one and that I give the blue tunic a little bit of screen time, because I did want to show that. It's really nice taking 0 damage from some attacks, and for those that argue that ×4 damage might be good, that Octorok that hit me for a half heart of damage and got rid of my sword beams, that wouldn't have happened if I had the blue tunic. So, it's still very worth your time to do so, because it might just prevent you from taking damage and thus losing your sword beams. So, I'm going to go ahead and head back to the color dungeon. I'll see you guys in just a moment, and I had to make a wrong turn. I should also mention, I had some people telling me that I really should have mentioned this. The thing is, I thought I did mention it, but apparently I didn't, and this is the dungeon music from Zelda 1. It's kind of funny, because I thought for sure that I mentioned that at some point, because I really couldn't see myself not mentioning it, but apparently I didn't. So, for those of you that didn't know that, I guess now you do. Anyway, let's, whoa, hey, that enemy was actually kind of jerkish there. Wow, I'm kind of surprised. Usually I have no issues with them at all. Let's, pick this up. Step on the switch, move through here, and we want to head to the Fairy Queen's room just beyond where the boss used to lay. Or used to sleep? Lair? I don't know, lair isn't really a verb, is it? I don't know. Let's just go on through here, make a turn right here, and meet with the Fairy Queen. Welcome, Link. I admire you for coming this far. I will give you the power of color. If you want offense, choose red. If you want defense, choose blue. Which power do you want? We'll go with Pokemon Blue version. Yes, I am sure. Relax and close your eyes. I like it tells you to relax and close your eyes while she puts clothing on you. Make of that what you will. Your damage will be reduced by half. Okay. So, we pretty much have everything that I want here. We are just about as powered up as we're gonna get. Granted, there are some upgrades, like holding more magic powder and stuff like that we don't have, but I'm pretty good for a little while here, I'll say that much. So, without any more dawdling, without doing any more collectibles, now that we have done one of my favorite moments in Link's Awakening, and we have also gotten ourselves the new blue tunic and the level 2 sword, as well as gotten every secret seashell that we could ever want, we're gonna end this off in just a moment, because I want to head over to Dr. Wright. Alright, let's hop over here, dodge the arrow, and... What's this? A letter for me? I'm so happy! And look, the letter came with a photograph. Now, I will say this. This is really funny, because I think this kind of foresaw a problem in the real world today. She included a letter of herself. A photo of Princess Peach. She's so beautiful. I must give you something for your trouble. Well, it looks like all I have is this broom. How will that be? Fine. Okay. So, we get ourselves a broom for that. And when you think about that, I always thought that he was in a long-distance relationship with this Christine, and he is completely unaware that on the other end of these letters, she's a goat. And she, like, gives him a letter of, like, you know, what he perceives to be a beautiful woman. And it's just, it kind of is the same as people that get tricked online, you know, like dudes saying that they're girls and stuff like that, but in this case, it's a goat pretending to be a human. I'm sure that this happened with mail letters and stuff like that, like people that just happen to write letters to each other and fall in love that way. But it kind of struck me as a bit of, I guess, predicting the future, if you will, because this came out originally, I think, in '94, and the internet wasn't super widely adopted by many people back then. I don't know, it existed, mind you, but still. And with that broom, we might see that old Ryra's wife is suddenly without one. Oh, yippee, yippee, a new broom for me? It is, isn't it? Sure. I like how happy she looks now she has the item jingle. She's such a... I like this I like Grandma Ryra. She's just so sweet and so funny. Alright, in return we can have a fishing hook. Okay. When I swept by the riverbank. Okay. So, with a fishing hook in hand, and after doing all that stuff that I said earlier, we have now done everything that I'd like to do. Next time on The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, we will be following the owl's instructions and continuing our quest. See you guys then.